Thank you again for joining us today for the Financial Literacy Corner podcast, a podcast that talks about financial literacy. It talks about small business development because we can't be financially literate. What are we going to be doing? Because if there's no money, then why do you need to be financially literate? So financial literacy goes with money, and money goes with business. And that is where we're saying, we cannot sit and wait for big corporates and all these investors that I talked about to create jobs. We need to start within. We need to start from here and create our own employment. And that is why we are saying that financial literacy must go together with how to make money. And that is why today we decided, let's call somebody who has been there, done that, and who knows what it is like to run a business full time. And that is no one else than Cooking Counter. She will explain her name and everything, but out there we know her as Cooking Counter, and she will tell you who she is, she will tell you where she comes from, and all that. But what you need to know out there, her name is Cooking Counter, and that's how you should know her, and that's what is going to make you understand what she does. Because the minute you talk about cookies, you are talking about baking, and that's what we're going to be covering today. Cooking Counter, how are you doing today?
I'm good, thanks. And how are you?
Yes. Tell us your name and where you come from.
Do you want my name or you want the cookie name?
The cooking name plus your name.
Okay, so my name is Rito.
Yes.
That's the name that I got at home, but now I go by the name of Cookie. Everybody calls me Cookie because of the business name.
Yes.
So I am Rito Manganyi, born and bred in Kagiso. So I reside in Kagiso, but home is Kamabambe in Limpopo, Kamalamlele.
Yes.
So that's where I'm originally from. And yeah, I grew up in Kagiso. I was born in Kagiso, but Limpopo people, there's always hope.
Yes, of course. There's always
So,
home.
yeah.
There's home and home.
And there's home.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's how it is. and people don't understand it.
Yeah.
Where are you from? No. Do you want to know where I was born or home? Or you want to know where I stay now, which is my home now? And kids don't understand that.
Yeah,
They'll tell you, Mama, I'm from Kagiso. Don't tell me that I'm from Mabambe because that's not where I was born.
Exactly.
But for us older people, we have home outside the province and we have home inside the province of Gauteng.
Yes.
And yeah, so the reason why you're here today, the main goal was to find a way to eat your cake without paying for it. That's why we invited you here, so that we can be able to say, bring samples and all that, so that you can bring cakes and ingredients and everything. Then we take them home with us and they will go enjoy. So, but I'm joking. And I want to, first of all, understand your background. We know you're Rito Manganyi, Cooking Counter. We want to know your background. How did you grow up? Where did you grow up? In Mabambe or in Kagiso? Where did you study? Because sometimes when we see people like you, we think, maybe she was studying overseas and then she came back home and then started this big brand of hers. But we want to know, your humble beginnings. Where did you start,
Okay. As I already said, I was born in Kagiso. Started school in Kagiso.
Yes.
And I went to high school. Okay, I went to primary in Tsakani Primary School.
Oh, okay.
It's in Kagiso.
Yes.
And then high school, I went to Townview.
Yes.
So that's where I studied. And after that, that's where everything just...
Yes.
I did a lot of things.
Yes.
Those who know me know I have changed fields so many times to the point I'm sure my parents are even saying, hey, you must decide what you want to do because every year it's something new. So at some point I studied nursing. At some point I did tourism. So you'll see how far apart those things are.
Yes.
But I went to college. I don't know how many times I went to college, on and off. I worked. Okay, I also when now coming towards the starting of Cookie and Counter, I was doing tourism, and luckily I got an opportunity to go and further my studies overseas. So I spent some time in China. So I spent a whole year in China, and I
Wow.
honestly think that is the one thing that gave me courage to start. Because honestly, I always say, had I not gone there, I wouldn't have seen the need to start a business, or I wouldn't have had the courage to actually start a business. So when I came back from there, it was COVID, and everything was shutting down. And one of the reasons we also came back was because of COVID.
Yes.
So, like, the country is shutting down, everything is, and I'm like, what do I do now? I don't have a job. And at that time, I spent all the money that I had. Now I'm sitting at home depressed and very broke.
Oh my God.
So I'm starting to think, what do I do now? Personally, I've always been a person who was inclined to the kitchen.
Yes.
And I always ran away from it because I did not want to be labeled that girl that cooks, that,
yes.
because I felt like there's no money in this industry, and what am I gonna be doing? Will people know me as that the chef? So I didn't want that. Hence, I never studied anything culinary related. But hindsight, I think I should have, and maybe I might pursue it in the future. So when 2020 hit, we are all sitting at home. I was also that girl that was busy making pizzas and what.
Yes.
You know
Yes.
that year
A
everybody
lot of
was
people
busy
were-
with everything.
People were cooking, they were baking.
Yeah.
There's a lot. At home we could now do pancakes also.
Yes.
Out of nowhere, we could bake. And the thing is, we never thought we had those skills,
Exactly. So I started playing around with flour, and I was, at that time I had a friend who bakes, and I used to always see her cakes, and I was fascinated, like, how do you get Spider-Man to be so perfect on a cake? And because I was not in the industry yet, I never really understood how they did that. But fast forward now to 2021, I had gotten a job, and honestly, I was just getting a salary
Yes.
just in there,
Yes.
because we never really did anything in that job. So every time I would get paid, I would just buy data, and I was forever on Instagram. Instagram and YouTube, that is where my business got what motivation
Yes,
from.
yes.
So I used to always sit on my phone scrolling, and people, every time they'd pass me, was like, "O shebile dijo gape?"
Hey.
I was always that
Yes,
person. And I
yes.
remember in high school, my principal, I hope he sees this.
Yes.
He used to call me Mafuta, and I hated it,
Oh my
because I'm
God,
big. It's like,
yes.
when I'm Mafuta,
Yes.
you're never gonna amount to anything. You are gonna utlabereka ko di kitchening. And I
Yes.
think that is one of the main reasons why I never
You
wanted
never
to study
wanted to
anything
that
to
had
do with food.
kitchen. Yes.
Because he told me, Ria, you're gonna work in the kitchen. Because
Yes.
now in matric, when we were doing study camp,
Yes.
I was the one dishing up for other kids.
Yes.
But we are
yes.
here studying, So I was just always in the kitchen, but I never wanted to pursue it. So it then came to a point where I am now comfortable. Like, I am seeing things that I can relate to online. And that's how now Cookie and Counter was born. I can't remember if my first order was 2020 or 2021. I really cannot remember. But I was sitting at work, and I was like, you know what? Today when I get home, I'm going to make biscuits. I'm going to make a nice biscuit box, and then I'm going to advertise it. And when I made that that biscuit box, I was like, okay, now I need a business name.
Yes.
And I was like, I don't even know. And then I came up with Cookie and Counter. I
Yes.
don't know what it means. It was
Yes.
just something
Yes.
that I
Yes.
liked.
But it has a meaning.
It has a meaning, because at that time,
yes.
it was speaking to what I was doing. So I was specifically doing cookie boxes. So that's where the name it came from.
Yes.
But right now, I feel like I am not so aligned with the name, but that's a story for another day. So it so happened that I got immediately when I posted that post that afternoon, I got my two first customers. And it was people that I knew,
Yes, yes,
guys, let's support the
yes,
people that we
yes,
know, people that we grew up
yes,
with.
yes.
My first two customers was Shimi and Boholo,
Yes.
Os Boholo. These are people that know me from, those are the first two people that ordered immediately. And they've never tasted anything, but they trusted me. I didn't have packaging. I told them to come with
Yes,
Tupperwares,
yes,
and it
then
was,
take, yes.
like when I look back, I'm like, they trusted me with their money, and
Yes.
I didn't really even know how to bake. Because when I look at it back, like from like compared to now, I'm like, I could have done so much better.
Yes, yes. Okay.
So yeah.
Yeah. So that is a mouthful. It tells a lot about your history and how you ended up as cooking counter.
Yes.
And the thing is, years back, I think it was just before at the end of COVID or when COVID was just ending, we were mostly on social media. And that is when we came across each other on Henry the Plug. And you told me that you have seen me before at an event of bakers where I was talking, Exquisite Deluxe event. And we started talking. Tell me about that time. What was happening at that time? Because when I spoke to you at that time, you were a bit depressed about what was going on around you. What was going on? Because people think that it's all gloomy out there. People think that, you just you start baking, everything just flows, and then from there, you're up there and you're making millions. But I want you maybe to take us there.
Okay. It was 2022
Yes, yes, I think so.
when I met you for the first time. It was 2022. I remember this because I was coming from another job. So as I was saying, after 2020, I was very broke. I don't want to lie. I was down and out. So I didn't really have money. So I was doing odd jobs here and there, never satisfying. And I just got out of a contract in January, and I saw a post by Exquisite Deluxe Cakes. She had advertised what is it, a baker's seminar?
Yes.
Yes. So she had advertised a baker's seminar, and I was like, you know what? I don't have money, marala.
I'm
Hilani
going.
yakona.
Yes.
I looked for money. I found it. I paid, and it was on a Sunday. I remember very well. I was like, I'm going.
Yes.
So I went to that event, and when I got there, one thing about me is confidence is my middle
Yes.
name. I will make you believe I
Yes.
can do something that I've
Yes.
never even done,
Yes.
So I went to the seminar. I got there, and there was a lot of bakers. And when I got there, I was like, okay, I don't know anyone. I don't know even these bakers. Oh, and before I went to the seminar, this was TikTok now. I found out that they have a TikTok live. So Exquisite used to host lives
Yes.
on weekends between 6 and 8, I believe. Can't remember, but yeah, she used to host lives, and I joined, and I was like, oh my gosh, these are the same people that I saw on the
Yes.
poster, and I was
Yes.
like, I am definitely going here.
Yes.
And I got there, met a lot of bakers. Most of them, I'm still friends with them even till
Yes.
today. So that's where I met you for the first time. You were talking about finances and
Yes.
SARS and SARS, guys. Now I
Yes.
don't even know
Yes.
anything. Now I just know how to bake. Now I must think about SARS. I must think about company registration,
registrations, all
company
these
this.
things.
I'm like, I just know how to bake. All these
Yes.
things, I don't know them. So eventually, Fast forward to after the Baker's seminar, Henry the Plug. Henry, I used to join his lives every morning because I was in my mind. I was looking for people who are business minded, people who would people who would like push me to think about business, better myself and things like that. So every morning I join Henry the Plug, you are there.
Yes.
So I was like, this is where I need to be. These are my people. And you guys are the ones who would encourage me. No, you should post your work on TikTok, post your work, do this, do that. And I was so shy. I remember at that time my page was and I never removed those videos. They are still there. But my page was, I don't know. And eventually I started now posting behind the scenes of my work. And that's how then my page started to grow on TikTok. That's my biggest page on all the
Yes.
on all the platforms. So it started to grow and gain traction, and people knew this. Who's this girl, Cookie? Everybody knows Cookie. And all of a sudden, people recognize me when I'm walking in the streets.
Yes.
Hi, Cookie. Hi,
Yes.
Cookie. So like it just became a brand. But now Rito, the name started to fall away,
Yes.
and I'm now Cookie.
Cookie, yes.
So everybody calls me Cookie.
Yes.
And so that's how I would always see, or how you brand yourself says a lot about whether you're gonna make money or not. If I were to call myself Osiwadi Kukuko Extension 6, I don't think maybe people would have taken me seriously. But joining those podcasts, I mean
Yes.
those lives
Lives,
with
yes.
Henry the Plug, I learned a lot. Gained confidence, obviously, in the business space, and then this SARS thing. They are always talking about the SARS thing. And so that's when I started taking you serious as an accountant now.
Yes.
Because I always had the thing of, hey, no, I don't afford an accountant. I
Yes.
can't, I don't have money. I mean, like, accountants, those are things that people with money
Yes.
or people who are in big companies, will have, not Wanyana Wako Extension 6,
Yes.
So that that live, it helped me to realize that Black Child, it's possible.
It's
possible
possible
to have an accountant,
Yes.
and as
Yes.
just a person
Yeah.
who is still running their
Yes.
business in their house, because I still don't have a
Yes.
a building,
of
or
your own.
I'm still running the business from
Yes.
home. So yeah, so that's where I met you.
Yes. So this for me, and that is why I called you here, because your story is so familiar to many people out there. A child at school who used to be bullied and called names because of how she looks and lose confidence through that. And I believe this may have contributed to you being shy and thinking, "Yeah, this social media thing won't work for me." Because that smaller person in you goes a long way in your life, and you need that spark, that person who will come and say, "Look, you can do it. Look at me, I'm doing it. Why can't you?" And believe me, I'm one of the people who are encouraging you to start lives on social media and all that. And I only started some few weeks ago. And you became my inspiration, because now I'm so scared of doing a live, and you are doing it. Whenever I go on social media, I get a notification, Cooking Counter is live. She wants you to see what she's doing. And sometimes I will say, but what are people watching here? Because you are just busy with what you're doing, baking or just talking while you're preparing something, and people come and watch that. And you're getting followers out of that. And sometimes you get some money out of that, because these social medias pay. So I'm saying to people out there, here is Cooking Counter. We have not even started, but we are already inspired by the history that she's telling us about herself. I was too thin when I was at school. And with that, people would laugh at me and make jokes about me. And my self-confidence dropped. But there was a time where this other guy who came to our school, who had so much confidence, could stand in front of people and talk. Then I said, but if this guy can do it, let me associate myself with him, learn how he does it. And he said to me, no, don't be scared. If you want to say something or you want to talk in front of people, go stand up there and talk. And I ended up doing drama and a lot of other things. But it is because of allowing other people to get into your space and let them talk to you about giving you confidence and believing in you. And through that, Cooking Counter is a big brand now. You know, we are recognizing you, are calling you to lives now. Very soon, TV stations will be calling you, radio stations are calling you. And
I received.
yes, you see, so all these people are going to be calling you, wanting to know who's Cooking Counter, what does she do? And there are people who are in the same industry. They are baking, and we do lives. And sometimes we get people who are saying, I am baking, but I don't have clients. I don't know where to start. But I want you to get into this space where you were not making money. As you said, I was broke. To say now, I can survive with this business. And I am growing to something that is becoming bigger. And I can even have people that will work for me and make this a brand that is bigger than just me. What can you say? What can you tell us about your move from now I am broke and I'm giving up, and now I'm a businesswoman who is doing what I thought I would never do, but I'm doing it anyway, and I'm making money out of it?
Okay. I remember after one of Henry's lives, I contacted you. And that was a very dark moment in my life, because I was at the verge of giving up. This baking thing, I've been doing it. I don't see profit. I don't see what I'm doing. I want to leave and go look for a job because I don't even know what's going on. So, and you had said something, or no, you can contact an accountant, get an accountant. We can help you. We are for small businesses. I was like, let me try out this guy and see how far this thing takes me. I remember at that time, my company was registered, but unbeknownst to me, when you register a company, you're also supposed to pay CIPC.
Yes, annual returns.
Annual returns. I didn't know that. So my company was in areas. I hadn't been paying that. You checked that out for me. We had a conversation and you told me who to look for in the industry. Check this person, check this, check that. And it got to a point where in that interview, and you were like, I will pay for your company. I'm like, it's only 150. When I look at it now, that 150 saved my life, because that 150, I didn't have it. Honestly,
Yes.
I really didn't have it. And when you told me, Ore, no, for your company status to go back to the company is running, you need to pay this 150. I was like, "Ndaikuma kui 150, near 150, mina self,"
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't have 150. What am I gonna do? Is my company gonna be closed down? Am I gonna need to apply for another company and things like that? So at the end of that conversation that we had, I was uplifted. I was like, okay, I'm gonna try this. I contacted Exquisite Deluxe. She was running classes at that time, and I
Yes.
remember she once made a joke about
Yes.
this. She was like, I'm still waiting for you to come to my classes,
Yes.
because I said I'm definitely coming to the
Yes,
classes.
to the class, yes.
But my issue was money.
Money
I
was not
didn't
there.
have money. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to teach myself. So as I said, confidence is my middle name. Now I started doing these lives, and people who joined the lives back then when Cookie was still
Yes.
starting out, and now they will tell you that there's a huge difference. There are things that I used to do, and people would join and want to see this girl who talks too much, because one thing about me, I can talk. We want to see this girl. What is she doing? she's sieving batter. So you know when you mix your cake thing,
Yes.
and then I used to sieve that. After mixing, I used to take a sieve, and people will come, like big bakers will come like, hey, well, what are you
What are you
doing?
doing?
And I would do it with confidence.
Yes.
With so much confidence, like if it doesn't work for you, don't do it. If it works
Yes.
for me, you know. So I just had that confidence, and
Yes.
people were always like intrigued. And for some reason, people thought I've been in the industry for
For a long time.
because of the confidence.
Yes.
So eventually now I start to grow. The account starts to grow. And there was a time, I remember when I was still joining Henry's Life, my biggest cry was every time I make a sale, I need to go and buy equipment. Every time I'm buying, I don't see what I'm working for. Every day I'm buying something. Kungena
Yes.
300, in
Then you
Umesa
need to
600.
capital expenditure.
You know, like there's just, I'm always needing to buy
Yes.
something. I used to hate that. But yesterday, I was at a shop to buy some ingredients. And I was just walking around. I'm like, you know what? There was a time, every time I go into a baking shop, I need to buy a cut. I need to buy this. I need to buy this.
Yes.
But now I'm settled.
have
I'm no
it.
longer buying equipment. Now
Yes.
when I go to the shops, I'm just buying stock. So what I would like to say is it doesn't happen overnight. It will never
doesn't.
happen overnight. You need to make sure that you put in the work.
Yes.
You put in the work on you personally as Rito and Cookie Encounter as the brand. So what do I mean by put in the work? You need to make sure that the money you are using it for business. You need to spend money to make money. Somebody said in the morning,
Yes.
money is a river.
Yes.
You know, money needs to flow.
Yes.
You know, money needs to go in and out for
in
you
and
to
out.
see.
Yes.
You know, there was a time when I was sitting with 5,000 in my account, and I was like, wow, is this me?
I'm having
Serious,
5,000
5,000. And
my
somebody might look
own.
at 5,000 and be like, 5,000, what was
What is
5,000?
what?
I can, business for business,
Yes.
to have 5,000 just sitting there,
Yes.
it's a big achievement.
A lot.
From somebody who started from zero, who didn't really have anything, I was like, yo, no, I've made it. So confidence is my number one currency, because had I not been confident, I think people wouldn't be confident in my
you start
product.
believing in
Yes.
what you're doing first.
Yes, because some people, honestly speaking, they buy from Cookie because it's hair.
Yes.
You know, as I said, I'm from Limpopo. December night close, I go home. You know, December, it's a lifestyle. It's a
Yes,
whole
yes,
lifestyle.
yes.
Going to Limpopo.
Yes.
So when I close, I tell my customers, guys, I'm closing. I'm not open in December. Cookie. So who's gonna make my cake? I'm like, no, I can recommend Mama. I was like, it's fine. I'll wait.
We'll wait for you to come back.
I will wait. So that just goes to show some people they're not buying the product, they are buying also into you
Yes.
as a person. So you need to invest in your craft. That is my everyday song. Invest in your craft.
That is so beautiful, because what you touched there is a person who could not afford 150 rand to save their company, to a person who has 5,000 sitting in her account, not because it's the money that she wants to use. It's the money that is just there. She's not even using it anymore. She's just, that's profit. That is profit that is just sitting there, and she's not really using it. To a person who used to buy capital expenditure, a lot of capital expenditure, buying cutters, buying printers, buying all these things that you need to be able to bake these cakes. To a person who now go and buy ingredients without worrying about how am I going to bake the cake. So these are the kind of things that, you know, a lot of young people out there struggle with, because they are thinking that for me to start, somebody must come and finance me, give me a lot of money. But with you, you started with the small money that you have, the small money that you received from others, and you started with your own friends as your customers, and you started building from that. So a lot of times, the things we need to start are right in front of us. You hated cooking and baking because of the situation that you were in before and the bullying and everything that happened. But that is exactly where you ended up because that's your calling
And I love it.
and you love it. You see, that paradigm shift, because a lot of times we grew up in farms, in the villages. I'll call them farms because almost every household has a place where they can have maize meal and nuts and ground nuts and all these things. But we have abandoned that culture completely. You'll find a person sitting in a house where there's a big yard. They don't have vegetables.
Yeah.
They don't have tomatoes. They don't, they, you know, we use tomatoes and onions every day. But you cannot even sell onions and tomatoes to your village. Do you think if I have tomatoes in my yard, people won't buy?
They will.
As we were growing up, we used to sell mangoes and guavas. We used to go to my uncle and get avocados, come back and sell them. Because you know our area, Mabambe, and those areas, you cannot grow avocados nicely. But the mountainous areas, you can have nice avocados, fresh avocados. And we used to go fetch them, get into a taxi with a big bag, get home, and then start selling those avocados. The minute we had electricity, we had a fridge. Because we are the only people with a fridge in our Smolanyana area, then we can make ice blocks. And all the kids will buy from us. And that is how a business is started. And you realize that there's a gap. We eat bread, we eat cookies every day. We have birthdays every year. In one family, we may have 5 people, and each person will celebrate a birthday. And how many are we in the country? Around plus minus 68 million people. These 68 million people, maybe 50% of them will eat a cake this year. That is around 30 million people who want to eat a cake this year for their birthdays. And not only for their birthdays. We have events like weddings, we have anniversaries. There's so many things that are happening. We have events that women come together to discuss their own things. In such events, we need cookies, we need cakes, we need all this. We have so many stores in the country that sell cakes and cookies every day. And these are customers that are in millions and millions of them. And that is where I see Cooking Counter. Cooking Counter having so many orders from big organizations that she doesn't even know what to do. In such a way that she can go and say, look, I need to employ maybe 20 people to come and work in my bakery so that I can be able to cover all these orders. And with the way you're going, I see you there, because you have associated yourself with the right people. Who Exquisite Deluxe, who Sina and others, who some of them are owning bakeries as we speak. Why won't you be able to do that? So from the day I met you, the day I listened to you, and you saying, I'm shy, but when I listen to your voice, it's like I'm listening to a radio presenter who has this voice, this deep voice that can be like, today, if you can go to a radio station and say, here's my demo, I want to be on your breakfast show. They will say, oh, Rito, you have a job. Because you have that voice. You know how to present. When you narrate things, sometimes I'm not there to watch a cake or you delivering a cake. I'm just there for the storytelling. Because you'll explain, I baked this cake early in the morning, and from there, I had to deliver it to the person that bought the cake. I'm not even doing it right. But the way you narrate it, the story from the baking to the delivery of the cake, everyone would want to listen to that because of the voice behind that. So you are gifted with the voice, you know how to bake, and you mix the two, and they just make magic out of that. So that is why I said we need to sit down and talk. We can't just keep it between us. We need people to know out there that there are graduates who are sitting. Mina, I did nursing. So because I did nursing, I can't go cook. I'm a doctor. I'm a professional doctor. So I did medicine, but I'm not getting a job. I won't go sell cars. I won't go, start a business that, I'm washing cars or I'm selling cars or I'm doing something that is below my pay. And there's a lot of times where even people who we're supposed to be looking up at are saying, you know what, that is too low for you. You can't do that. But if we want to start, we have to start somewhere. And you are that example of a person who is sitting today saying, I don't have a cent, but they're not looking for help. I don't have a cent, I'm depressed, I'm unemployed, but they're not even looking at anyone. I mean, you did a lot of investments. You invested in watching all these people online. You invested in joining lives. You invested in asking for help. You invested in taking the last money you have to attend functions that will uplift you. And through that, you are here. But a lot of times people do not act. And I'm saying, I think it's time that we help people like you to grow instead of focusing on those who are just there to say, look, sponsor me. And I want 1 million. 1 million from me, can you prove anything that you have done before that make you deserve 1 million sponsorship? You want 1 million, but you have done nothing. But if Cooking Counter is coming and saying, look, I have started, I have pushed, it is my third year now, and this is the profit that I made over the past years. And this is where I am. I want you to invest in my business. The previous time when I was speaking to somebody, he said, have a business that you can be able to sell. But if you can look at your business and say, I can buy this business, then you have a good business. But if you can say, never, I can never invest or buy this business, then it's a problem.
Okay, can I come in
Yes.
there? So I applied for funding and got funding,
Yes.
right? This is exactly what they tell you. You can't sit there, Kokasi, and be like, the government is not doing anything for us. The government is not giving us money. The government this and that. But what are you doing as a person to show the government that you're interested in doing 1, 2, 3?
Yes.
So I got funding because I, number one, started a business.
Yes.
Number two, I made sure that my business is registered. My business documents are in order.
In order, yes.
So your tax, what is it called? Tax certificate.
Tax certificate, yes.
Tax certificate is in order. Your CIPC, everything, your bank account,
Yes.
and you are not swiping ko Edgasi or ko liquor
Yes.
store with
Things
that
that are not
account.
related to cakes.
Exactly. So make sure that your business is just in order, So I did all of that, and I applied for the funding and I got it. I got funded for 50,000. So I was funded by the GEP, Gauteng Enterprise Propeller.
Yes.
They gave me 50,000. But the government cannot give you 50,000 back because you are going to take it and go groove with it, right?
Exactly.
So they invest into something that you want to do. My issue was I don't have equipment. I'm using my mom's stove at home. I'm using everything. I'm using everything from home. So they gave me 50K. What I had to do is look for shops that sell equipment. And that's how I ended up having industrial equipment.
Wow.
So you can't say that, yeah, no, there's not enough opportunity for you young people. Hey, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and you are not doing anything.
Yes.
I remember, was it a State of a Nation address when Ramaphosa was saying, think about Tinswalo. I can't even remember which year it was. The Tinswalo story.
Yes.
So think yourself as a Tinswalo. If you grew up in the Lokshin, well, there's just so many opportunities that Tinswalo had. She was getting grant. She was getting this. Her school fees was paid. All of this. And, you still want to say there's not enough opportunities. The government is doing enough. When are you putting in the work?
Yes.
So you also need to be putting in the work so that you can complain and say the government is not doing 1, 2, 3. You know, right now I am not actively applying for funding, but I can't say the government is not funding young people because I've been there, I've been funded. I know it works. Some people will say, the corruption is too much, but have you tried it?
Have you tried?
Have you tried? Have you put in your foot in the door? And you can't just apply for one funding and be like, corruption is too
Yes.
much. They are not doing anything to help us. At least give me 10 and say I've
That I've
applied to
tried.
10 and they all rejected me. Then we'll see, or maybe there's a problem.
Yes.
You know. So you need to put in the work. You can't just want things to come to your lap, you know. We always make fun of single people and say,
Yes.
you need to go out.
Yes.
Your boyfriend is not going to come or your soulmate is not going to come and
it's
knock
not-
at the
yes.
door and be like, hey, Prince Charming here, you know. So you need to go out, put
Yes.
yourself out there, be in front of, you know, these opportunities. Join youth groups. I don't know how many groups I'm in that they're funding, though I'm not currently applying, but I know everything because I'm on the ground. And one funny thing about me is I'm always in the house, but I know what's going
But you
on.
know what is going on outside.
I know what is going on outside. I'm always in the house, but my phone is so busy because I try to keep up with which funding is out. Do I have capacity to apply? If I apply now, what would I use the money for? You know, so those are the type. And change your circle. Change your circle. You're not gonna make it with that friend of yours that every 2 minutes is asking you to go to groove. No.
That's so deep.
You need to change your circle. When I started this whole thing, I needed to change my circle. I needed to, I don't know, maybe say dial down on the type of friends that I was keeping and things like that. Because I needed people who are in the same mindset as
yes.
me, you know. People who will encourage me. Like I have a friend now. I love to sleep. But she was like, Cookie, business yakho ngeke ikhule if you're forever
You're always
sleeping.
sleeping.
You can't.
You can't be sleeping
You
the
need
whole
to
day.
wake up. You need to wake up early. You need to, when it comes, let it find you ready. Whatever it is, let it find you ready. You say you want to be a millionaire. Million is not going to find you in the bed.
No,
you
not
need
at
to
all.
work for it. You need to make sure that the background of Cookie Encounter is working. If I say I want to be a millionaire, I'm not going to be a millionaire with making only 2 orders. No.
Yes.
I need to make at least 150,000 orders for me to reach that million.
Exactly.
Will I be able to take 50,000 orders lying in bed? No. I need to change the mindset ya Rito to match the Cookie Encounter that I'm chasing,
Yes.
right? I need to change the time that I wake up. I need to change the type of things that I consume. I'm a Christian. The Bible says, by beholding, we become changed from
Yes.
glory to glory.
Amen.
What are you beholding? What are you beholding? Whatever you are beholding is what is going to be shaping what you end up being, right?
Yes.
So you cannot say, we're not 24/7. You are looking at umgosi. What, you know, current affairs. This
Oh my
celebrity did this. What are you learning there?
Exactly, because what we spend so much time on in a day, and you should go out there and check your time, what you spend your time on. Because a lot of times, people are spending time on, if they're on social media, they're on groups where they're talking about so-and-so. If they are more cornering, like we are calling our financial literacy corner, it's a corner because a lot of times we use a corner to discuss things. And which corner are you at? Are you at a corner where you're learning, or are you at a corner where you are just depressing yourself more? And these are the kind of things that a lot of people want to be successful, but they don't want to work for the success. They don't want to channel their mindset towards the success that they're looking for. You know, you talked about sleeping. There's a lot of people who will brag about sleeping. Mina, I sleep the whole day, you know. If I don't have anything to do. And when are you going to have something to do when you don't go and look for something to do? You can sleep, and the next thing, you have 3 years gone. You have done nothing.
Just sleeping.
And you start looking at your cooking counter, making it in life.
And then you start saying,
yes.
Ay, uthathe le nto lo.
Yes.
Uthathe le nto. It can't be.
It can't
this
be.
Same cookie encounter,
Yes.
we grew up with
we
her.
grew up with her. All
How-
of a sudden, she's there.
Exactly.
How did she do it? She's from the same kasi that I come from, from township that I come from. And she's up there. How did she get there? So there must be something.
There must be something.
But cooking counter was not sleeping.
Exactly. There was once a friend of mine who texted me, as I was saying, you need to change your circle. There's a friend of mine who texted me. He's like, yo, Chomi, Yazi, I am. What words did she use? But like, I'm talking to this guy. Who is like, I'm chatting to this guy, he's in the US, what. I'm like, why? No, we're just vibing. Why? No, just hey, friend, delete that person, block, delete. Don't ever tell me about that person. Yabo mina, I will only help you if we are talking about money. If you are talking about how to better ourselves and how to make it out of Ficas.
Yes.
Don't come and tell me, hey, you are talking to Brajo wants to take you out to a hotel. Those are not conversations that I want to find myself in. So you need to change your mindset.
And that mindset, when it comes to financial literacy, is one mindset that we really need to deal with. Because there's a mindset that if I'm a woman, I need a man to take care of me. And this is a lot. I'm not saying people should not give each other money, but the mindset of saying, I'm cooking counter, I'm not going to do much because I can find a man who will take care of me. And that is a mindset that, you're sort of wanting to be a dependent. And when people start looking down on you, or the person that is financing you start giving instructions on what to do and what not to do, you start having issues. Because that is exactly where it will end up. But cooking counter is coming. She owns her own business. She meets Mr. Right, who is also owning his own business. And what happens in that situation? In that situation, cooking counter is now this person who is coming in a certain level of financial stability to a person who is also having a financial stability. And a man who don't want an independent or a successful woman will not approach you. Only a man who can stand a successful woman will approach you. And that is where you start getting somebody who will be able to compliment you. But when you are coming there as a hungry person, somebody who is there for the food, then they will feed you, but after feeding you, they will want you to do what they want you to do.
Exactly, they control you.
They control you. And you wonder, why am I being controlled? But it's because of how you presented it. It became a transaction. It was no longer a relationship because it was about money coming to me and me giving what I have to give to you. That is a transaction. And that transaction lifestyle, a lot of people are thinking this is my way out. But the way out is to start something of your own. So I want, with the time that we are left with, I want you to take me through financial discipline. Because, Cookie, you make money every day. And this money comes into your pocket. How do you survive with money in your pocket? Because you still have to buy ingredients and all these things and still be able to deliver. Don't you end up finishing all the money that the client gave you and never be able to deliver because obviously there's restaurants and all these things and trips with friends and all that. Please take us through the money discipline part.
Okay, so financial discipline, as I'm saying, change your circle of friends.
Yes.
there's a lady that I met online who used to talk about financial discipline. Business account, I was swiping ayo at Gasi, I was swiping ayo in liquor
You don't
store,
swap it
you know,
with it anywhere else.
you don't
when
play
you're
with
doing
it.
business, yes.
The money for the business is the money for the business. It's not
Yes.
your money.
Yes.
Your money is the salary.
Yes.
If you're not paying yourself, sorry for you, but you should be.
You should be paying yourself. Yes.
So financial literacy for me, because I also had this question, actually, I like that you asked it. I also had this question like, but how do I know what I must pay myself and what goes to the
Yes.
business, you know? So what I now started to do and what I feel like is working for me, when somebody pays for a cake, somebody pays for a cake and say maybe I charge them 1.4, right? Charge them 1.4. I take that 1.4 and let's say they are paying for November. We are in September. Am I going to use it? No. I take it and I put it into a separate account. I will only use it towards that order. I have stopped using money like this because I end up not seeing what I'm doing.
Exactly.
September money is only going to work in September. October money is only going to work in October. So if you check my account, there are 2 separate accounts for future orders and this account that I transact with.
Yes.
So every money that comes in, if it's not for this month, it goes to the future.
Wait for the time when it's supposed to be used.
So that's how I try to manage. And I try by all means not to spend the money before the customer has collected and is happy with the product. Because I've never had an issue, I've never had to refund anybody, but what I know about life is life happens.
It does.
Anything can happen.
Anything
and you
possible.
need to refund. If I spend all the money, what am I going to refund with?
You won't.
So you need to have those type of things. And you said I use money every day. I have money coming in and out. When I started Cookie and Counter, I was doing biscuits and scones, and I could only dream of making cakes.
Yes.
I looked at the cakes, I was like, yo, these cakes are so beautiful. Will I ever reach this level? I'm there now. And I stopped making the biscuits because I was like, yo, I don't have time for this anymore. Now I'm tired. Because biscuits are time consuming, you know. I stopped the biscuits. I started doing the cakes. The money for the cakes was coming in. For you to stop something that you started with, then you must say that you know something was happening. So the money was now coming in, and lo and behold, cake season is very seasonal.
Yes.
We are in busy season now.
Yes.
From September to December,
Yes.
busy wedding,
Yes.
party, like everybody's doing something. So this is busy season. Capitalize on that. This is where you make your money, you save it for June, July. June, July, and even January, there is not a lot of orders because December people, they spend all their money and all of that. So what I did is I started to diversify. I diversified. I was like, okay, what can I do that when I don't have orders, I still have money coming in? Because I can't go when I don't have orders, I'm just sitting and doing absolutely nothing. I just can't do that. So I started a range. My very first baby after Cookie and Counter was the filling range.
Yes.
I now would supply bakers, other bakers with fillings. Your lemon curd, you know, I bought some of the things.
Please show us.
So this is caramel.
Yes.
But it's not only for bakers. You can eat this with popcorn. You know when you have caramelized popcorn?
Yes.
This is what they use.
For
so
yes.
You just take it, mix it with your popcorn, and then you've got caramelized popcorn. And then this is our newest edition. It doesn't even have a label yet.
Yes.
This is our newest edition.
Yes.
It's the passion fruit filling.
Yes.
So with the passion fruit filling, you can eat it with either ice cream, plain yogurt.
Yes.
You know, we have these healthy bunnies, people who want to always eat healthy.
Yes.
So you just buy this, mix it into your yogurt, and like your plain yogurt, and you have your blueberries, you have your. So I have. This is flavor number 6. I have
Yes.
5 flavors.
Wow.
Strawberry, blueberry, raspberry, caramel, and lemon curd. This one is passion fruit. So I started diversifying with that. I added that. And I also now started doing chip bags.
Yes.
Because now when mummies come to order cupcakes for
Yes.
their little ones, they always want also a party pack.
Yes.
Right? So inside a party pack, we put like your goodies. I mean, like plain old party pack, things that we normally do. So I was like, when parents come and buy cupcakes for their kids at school, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start now introducing party packs so that
Wow, this is so
they
beautiful.
don't go and buy party packs somewhere else.
You are bringing everything here.
Yes, so you diversify and you grow what you have here. Because I would literally just said, I remember most of the time my dad would be like, I got nothing order today.
Yes.
And it would depress me so much because I'm like,
no
yo,
orders. Yes.
where are these people not coming to
Yes.
buy? What's going on? And I understand, you know what, business is very seasonal. And you cannot force people to come buy cake when they want to buy cake.
You can't.
Give them something else that they need to buy. I also do even cake toppers. So from what I'm saying, I'm sure you can see, I am targeting bakers.
You are selling to your competitors.
Yes, I'm selling to my competitors.
Yes.
We are not competing. The cake is big enough for all of us.
Yes.
Like we can all be bakers here,
Yes.
and we all prosper. I mean, like there's
Exactly.
how many people in South Africa?
A lot.
I can't bake for all of them.
For all
I'm
of
only
them,
one
yes.
person. I don't have employees yet. So what I do is I bring the bakers closer. The fillings I supply to other bakers. I do cake toppers. So the bakers, they come to me, tell me, okay, I have a cake that looks like this, and this. How can you make it look prettier for me? I give them toppers and I charge them for that.
Yes.
So diversifying really is.
Now, that's so deep, because you talk about diversifying, because in business we talk about, if you can be able to produce it at home and buying it is more expensive, produce it.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what you're doing, and you are now being able to expand the market. And you talked about cookies, that you don't do much anymore, but that is another diversification that you can have.
Yes.
The one speaker that I had spoke about, he was an estate agent, stopped, and then he invested in properties. But later he went back to estate agency and had a parallel business that is running with this one and giving this one business. Same thing with us. We have a company that is doing accounting and a company that is doing compliance. And also we have financial advisors and financial planners. And we have companies that are in property businesses. So all this gel, because each company needs the other. And that's exactly what you have done.
Yes.
Diversify. And that gives you more income. Wow. So, to be honest with you, this was a lesson. I learned a lot. And listening to you, we can listen to you the whole day, because you talk facts. And that is one thing that I really like about Cooking Counter: the confidence, the business mindset, the mindset that says, I want to learn from others. I will humble myself and I will learn from others, and I will implement what I've learned. And that is exactly how you're going to grow beyond where you are now, because you have already grown, you have already established a brand, and that is what you need to start with. You see? So, and people out there, as you were saying, they always say, funding is impossible. No one will fund you. But who will fund you because no one knows you? You don't have a business account. You don't have a business name. You are just trying to do things that are not really formalized. You don't have paperwork, but you want somebody to come and invest in that. Would you do the same to a stranger that you meet in the street and say, give me 100,000 rands, and you just give your 100,000 rand to a stranger? But if you find somebody who's saying, here is a product that I'm doing, and these are the paperwork, these are the things that I'm doing, and I'm legal, whatever I'm doing is legal, then you can invest in that, because you can even see the financials that are showing a profit. And that is exactly how we should start thinking as business people. These type of sessions are needed. And I believe a lot of young people will learn from this, and they will stop sitting at home waiting for somebody to come and employ them, and they will start creating employment for themselves. Cooking Counter saw an opportunity. What was there in front of her? Her mom's stove, her mom's house, and she started there. How many ovens do we have in this country? Every household, most, if they afford, they may have a stove. And that stove can do wonders.
Even the 2-plate oven.
Even the 2-plate oven can do wonders. And that's where you start. A lot of big organizations that we know started in garages. And today they are multi-billion businesses, trillion businesses. But they started from a garage. Everything starts from somewhere. And we don't know where we will end up, but we are sure that the future is bright. This is Chirizi Mabungu from Chirizi Mabungu Financial Literacy Foundation. You are listening to us at the Financial Literacy Corner, where we sit in our corner and talk about financial literacy, talk about small business development. Because we want this country to succeed. I always say to people, you don't want to invite visitors to a dirty house. The minute you hear that visitors are coming, you clean. Even if you are a person who's not tidy at all, when you hear that visitors are coming, you clean your house. When you want investors to come to this country, you must clean your house. You must create your own employment. You must start businesses. Businesses that when investors come, they are not starting from scratch. They are investing on businesses that are already there. A lot of people start businesses small, and they grow them and sell them later. Who knows? You may start this business with 150, 200 rands and sell it for 1 billion one day. Or maybe convert it into something big, international level, and you make billions out of it. Or register this business at the JSE, and it becomes a public company, and people can buy shares in this company, and you buy stock, and then you can be able to be bigger than what you are now. So the dreams are endless. This country is big for all of us. Thank you very much for coming, Cooking Counter. Parting words from you?
All I would say is change your mindset.
Change your mindset.
Change your mindset, because you can't run a business with the same mindset that you passed the matric with.
Yes.
You need to shift. That is the only way you are going to make it in life.
While on that, how can we get hold of you?
Okay, so Cookie Encounter, you can reach Cookie Encounter on all social media, major social media platforms. We are on Facebook, it's Cookie Encounter. We are on Instagram, it's Cookie Encounter _SA. We are on TikTok, that is our biggest platform. That's where we go live, where we do, it's gumnandi, like it's very nice by TikTok. It's also Cookie Encounter. And to place your orders and things like that, the number is on all our social media platforms, but we take orders through WhatsApp for now.
Yes.
Hopefully in the future we will be having a website.
Exactly. You will have a website soon.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Cookie Encounter. Thank you very much for listening. And if you found this episode beneficial to you, if you were able to listen to us till now, which means you're one of those people who should subscribe to this channel and be able to listen to us all the time, because when we go live, you'll be able to see what we're doing. When we post, you'll be able to see what we're doing, and you'll be able to enjoy more episodes like this. Thank you so much.